No amount of time will make us stray. We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all the lost, both the near and far. You're in our hearts. You're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.
Hello. So, hey Kelly, I see you're in the house. I have pinned at the top because for some reason the link isn't working if I just put it in the description. So I have to figure that out. But the pinned message at the top is the Google document that I did regarding Sebastian. So I just wanted to point that out. Sebastian has been missing just over 2 years now. 2 years and 2 days. Way too long for this case to have gone on. So there was a couple of videos released that I want to play, and if anybody's in here, we'll talk about it. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was reported missing February 26th of 2024 from Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Sebastian was born on December 7th, 2008. He's got brown or hazel eyes, which that has always bugged me because those are way different colors. Like if you said hazel or blue, or if you said hazel and green, I could understand. But hazel and brown, those are two drastically different colors, but that's what they have down. At the time of his disappearance, he weighed 120 pounds. He had blondish brown hair and stood 5'5". Sebastian was 15 when he went missing. The FBI is offering a reward up to $50,000 for information seeking the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian has ties to Clarksville, Tennessee. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen on February 25th, 2024 in the area of Stafford Court, Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and black square-framed glasses. Sebastian has medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or tips can be sent to TBI at tbi.tennessee.gov. You can also contact your local FBI office or the nearest American embassy or consulate. If you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. So there's Sebastian. This picture here was taken, if I remember correctly, the weekend that he disappeared, like a day or two prior. So, like I said, Sebastian's been missing 2 years now. He was 15 when he went missing. He's now 17. So his height and weight could very well have changed at this point. Sebastian's dad, Seth, has been searching forever, since day one, trying to find his son. And he's very vocal about it. So let's see. This is what the sheriff of Sumner County released this week. It says, for immediate release, February 26, 2026, the 2-year anniversary missing case, Sebastian Rogers. It has been 2 years since Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen in Hendersonville, Tennessee. While time has passed, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office remains committed to finding answers. Sebastian's disappearance remains an active and ongoing investigation. As we mark this difficult anniversary, we assure the public that Sebastian has not been forgotten. I beg to disagree there, Sumner County. I think you just don't want to have the FBI fully involved to find Sebastian. My opinion only. We remain committed as we continue to seek answers. Our focus remains where it has always been, finding Sebastian and delivering truth and accountability through facts, not noise. And at least they said through facts. So, hi, Marie. How are you, dear? Oh, crap, I lost my place here. Sebastian remains a missing person, and his disappearance continues to be treated as an active and open investigation. From the beginning, this case has involved extensive law enforcement coordination, including local, state, and federal partners. Law enforcement agencies include the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, the TBI, and federal FBI continue to follow every credible lead. The FBI is still offering a reward for information that could lead to his whereabouts or to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office urges the public to rely on official information released through law enforcement channels. Rumors, speculations, and unverified claims, including social media posts that misrepresent investigative facts, distract from the investigation and lead to misinformation. Could not agree more with them on that. While law enforcement does not publicly release most investigative details out of necessity to protect the integrity of the case, we want to be clear on a few important points. Sebastian has never been removed from the missing person database. The case has never been closed or suspended, and all credible tips are reviewed and followed up appropriately. Decisions regarding what information can be released publicly are guided by investigative procedures and legal obligations, not a lack of effort or concern. We continue to ask the community to assist, report firsthand credible information directly to law enforcement. If you believe you've seen Sebastian, call 911. Response time is critical. If you have information about Sebastian's disappearance, please submit tips to the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND or tips to TBI at tbi.tennessee.gov. These tips are distributed to the TBI and Sheriff's Office simultaneously. You may also contact your local FBI office or submit a tip online at tips.tbi.gov. So that was from Mr. Craddock, who is the sheriff in Sumner County. So I disagree with a lot of what they said, because they said that this includes the FBI. But if I remember correctly, and I might be wrong because it's been a while since I really deep dived into Sebastian's case, but if I remember correctly, Sumner County told the FBI basically to leave. There was the video from Texas Roadhouse that we've all seen. Now, I know this says that there's a $225,155 reward. And this was put out when Dog the Bounty Hunter came on the case. I'm not sure if he's still on it or not. So these are just still shots from the Texas Roadhouse video, which I should have pulled up so we could watch, but I didn't. So it says the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers has captivated the attention of law enforcement authorities who have conducted an extensive investigation into his whereabouts. On August 26, 2024, the FBI offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to Sebastian Rogers' safe return and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance. On September 3rd, at night, joined the search and announced a $50,000 reward for Sebastian's safe return and his abductor's conviction. Credible leads in Oregon and New York led to an increased reward to $225,155. Initial reports indicated his safe return on February 25th. However, at night maintains that he did not return. If he did, Green Hoodie and or accomplices were likely present, as evidenced by a video footage capturing two individuals in Katie Proudfoot's neighborhood that evening. I'm not going to go into the Green Hoodie guy. There's just pictures of Sebastian. Like I said, it's been 2 years, and I never thought we would be sitting here 2 years later still trying to find Sebastian. I thought for sure he would have been found or returned to Seth. So, like I said, it's been a while. So I'm going to remove this. Stop that. Share the screen. So this is, well, the document that I had started with Sebastian. My later documents are a lot better. But so you have Katie Proudfoot as the mother. You have Chris Proudfoot there rolling his eyes during an interview about Sebastian, and he's the stepdad. And then you've got Seth Rogers, who is Sebastian's bio dad and is just looking for his kid. So they were at Texas Roadhouse, and they come home, and supposedly Sebastian took out the trash and then was basically told to go to bed. Katie Proudfoot said that at around 10 o'clock, because she had told him to go to bed at 9, that around 10 o'clock she heard a thud. I still think, even after all this time, that thud is very important, as far as what she thinks, because Sebastian had all these health issues, and she heard a thud in his room, and, well, are you okay? I don't care what you're doing in there. You need to go to bed. She didn't get up off her fat, lazy bum and go check on him. She was supposedly too busy studying, sleeping, and on the phone with Christopher Proudfoot. So, you know. Marie said, this case is heartbreaking. Sebastian needs justice. He does. And a proper place to rest, in my opinion. I agree. In my opinion, he is not alive. Poor, beautiful soul needs to be found. I agree, Murray. I fully agree. I do not think Sebastian is alive. I hope and pray that he is. But statistically, and in my opinion, just my gut tells me that he's not. And that's sad. for me, Seth needs to be able to lay his boy to rest properly. Kelly, I've done that. I think it's just YouTube. Yeah. So for those that don't know, American Justice Channel, somebody reported it as spam. And so they took it down. I appealed it. My initial appeal was, AI bullshit, and was denied. So I am now going through the actual appeal process, and we will see what happens there. As of 2:22 this afternoon, when I asked, when I told them I was checking in, YouTube replied to me, "We're still working on it. We'll let you know when we have more information to share. Thank you for your patience in the meantime." So hopefully I get my original channel back, because I was not that far from 500. So whoever reported me, just keep scrolling. If you don't like me, keep scrolling. You don't have to be here. Just had to say that. Yes, YouTube has been freaking out lately. It's been weird. Like, I'll go into chats or into lives that I've subbed to these people forever, and it'll be like, you have to be a subscriber to chat. And I'm like, what? So yeah, well, that was on my other channel too. People need hobbies. Leave the channels that are advocating alone, right? Like, if you don't like me, whatever, I don't care. But you don't have to watch me either. But I think I know who's behind it, and we'll just leave it there. It'll get dealt with. So back to the thud, or this noise. So on the 21st day of Sebastian missing, and again, this document that I'm looking at is the pinned message, so you can go and look at it as well. I made it a little too big. So on the second Duchess interview that Katie and Chris did at 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 45 seconds, she was asked a question, and Katie's response was, I just wanted to know if maybe, or the question was, I just wanted to know if maybe thinking back on it, is there anything you can think of that seemed off or out of the ordinary prior to him going missing during the night before you noticed he was missing? That was the question that was asked to Katie. And she replied, I honestly didn't notice anything that was like, oh my God, that's weird. I mean, we had a really good date. He wasn't in trouble at all. We went to bed on a good note. And I don't know if maybe he just wasn't saying something, but nothing. And I've gone over this so many times. I'm ill, bullcrap, but I didn't see or notice anything that was like a red flag. Okay, but there was a thud that you said. So that was day 21. On day 22, the very next day, with Chronicles of Olivia, at 2:25, Katie, at 2 minutes and 25 seconds, Katie said he was doing something in his room because about an hour later, I heard some noise. And she said, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. So we went on day 21, nothing. On day 22, it was just some noise. Then on day 24, on Smiley's World at 34 minutes and 23 seconds, Katie said, when she was asked about the noise in his room, she said, I'm not honestly sure. It sounded like he was messing with stuff in his room, which was not uncommon. And she told him, hey, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you're supposed to go to sleep. And then on day 29, on the Nancy Grace interview, which I will play a piece of that here in just a minute to get your opinion on what was said, at 17 minutes and 10 seconds, Katie said at around 10 o'clock, she heard a noise. Nancy Grace asked what it sounded like. Katie Proudfoot, just a thud. And she said, Bubba, did you fall out of bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep. So between day 21 where nothing was off. Then day 22, some noise. Day 24, it just sounded like he was messing with something in his room. And day 29, it was just a thud. It's like, really? Like, wait a minute. So I want to play. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So let me go to videos. Let me go to Sebastian. Okay, so I want to remove this for right now. I can always add it back. Stop screen. Sorry, guys. I'm talking back. Right? He called her ma'am. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did, but I don't know. It seemed odd to me. But I mean, he's respectful, so maybe he did. That would be
Sebastian.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I can't seem to get this video to open, so hold on. Come on, you stupid thing. I may have to go to, I just uploaded it, so let me do that. Let me go to, sorry guys. Go to YouTube because I just uploaded this to YouTube again. So share screen, window, this, share. So hopefully you guys will be able to hear this. Let me know if you can't. Did you guys hear that? YouTube is possessed. Yeah, right. No sound. Okay, let me remove it. Add back to stage. Hide that. Oops. Let me just see if I can upload the video here. So on Nancy Grace. There we go.
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time? Was that the first time?
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first?
Did you guys hear it then? Okay. So if you listen closely, this is, I forget how far into Nancy Grace, like 17 minutes or something like that. Katie Proudfoot says, we're lying about, and then I can't make out the last part. So let me replay it. You guys see if you can tell what she's saying. I do have this uploaded on the channel if you want to watch it as well. Let me play it again.
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time?
I hear we're lying about too much. And I've brought this up, and every time I bring it up, everybody says they hear something different. But what I can clearly hear is we're lying about, and then I can't make out the last part. Let me play it again, and you guys tell me what you hear.
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time?
We're lying about something, and I swear she says too much. Somebody else said homework. I don't know. It was on my original channel. There were a bunch of different things, but I hear we're lying about too much. And as much as I love Nancy Grace, because she shoots it straight, she must not have heard that, because I can't see Nancy Grace hearing a parent of a missing child say we're lying about and her just ignoring it. I just feel like if Nancy would have heard that, she would have called it out and been like, what'd you say, Mrs. Proudfoot? What'd you say, Katie? Because she rips into both of them in this. But she says clearly we're lying about, and I swear I hear too much. So Marie, you said I hear we're lying about too much or 2 months. Maybe. But I don't remember anything about 2 months. I don't know. Sounds like too much to me, right? Or it's you're lying about too much. Maybe let's listen to it one more time.
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first time?
Oh, it bugs me because I hear we're lying about, and then I can't make out the last piece. Nancy has no qualms about ripping into anybody, right? That's what I'm saying, Kelly. Like, in my opinion, there is no way Nancy Grace heard Katie Proudfoot say we're lying about and not rip into her and not say, what was that? And make her say it louder. Right? That's just how she is. She doesn't give a crap. I love that about her too, but she just doesn't care. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think it's fun. It's odd. I've brought it up. I've said things about this numerous times since Sebastian went missing. And I'm sorry, TBI, FBI, Sumner County, right there is your proof out of Katie's mouth. We're lying about. Go question her about what they're lying about. If you're truly investigating this, then go ask Miss Proudfoot what she was lying about. Because in a missing child case, when it's your child, you're not going to sit there and say we're lying about stuff. You're going to be the one talking. You're not going to sit here and chuckle and act like it's no big deal. You're not going to sit there and roll your eyes during an interview when you're talking about Sebastian. You guys, in my opinion, Chris and Katie have done nothing to search for or try to find Sebastian. And now she has a tattoo of a heart with a cross that's green. And she said that's her memorial tattoo for Sebastian. Well, I have memorial tattoos. And I got them when I knew that the person was gone. I knew they were dead. We had a, funeral. That's when you get a memorial tattoo, in my opinion. Send it to her. Maybe she didn't hear it because she was over talking. Maybe. If I knew how to send it to Nancy Grace, I would. But I don't quite know how to send it to her. Because, yeah. Please excuse my dyslexic typing. I do it all the time. It's okay. I didn't even notice it till you corrected it. Extra good point, right? I really don't think that Nancy heard it, because she would have straight out called them out and been like, excuse me. I just don't think she heard it. So I forget exactly when. Let me look here when that Nancy Grace interview happened. That interview was March 25th. So 1 month to the date of Sebastian missing. And she's saying we're lying about something 1 month after. I don't know about that. So let me remove that. We're going to watch the, let's see. How do I want to do this? Let's watch this one first. And I need to put up, because I finally learned how to do it. This goes to, full credit goes to SMV, or sorry, this one's WQRN. I'll take that off. Let me do this. WKRN. Oops. Oh my gosh. I can't do anything right now. Okay, so this one is WQRN. So I'm going to mute myself and we'll play this. It's 2 minutes and 56 seconds, and then we will talk about it and see what you guys think. Okay, hold on. I told you I couldn't do anything right now. This one is 2 years since Sebastian Rogers disappeared. Yep, this one. Okay. My brain is not here, guys. I'm telling you. It really isn't. Okay. Let me replay this.
2 years ago tonight, Sumner County teenager Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Hendersonville home. He hasn't been seen since. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 6. I'm Bob Mueller. Sebastian was only 15 years old at the time. Search efforts began the next morning when he was reported missing. Multiple agencies searched from the ground, water, and sky, but no sign of Sebastian. After 8 days, search efforts were suspended. In April 2024, the Sumner County Sheriff's Office held its last news conference on the investigation. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry has been covering the case since the beginning. She spoke with Sebastian's father today.
It takes a community to raise a child. Well, I'm asking for the nation to help me find my missing son. He's been gone for 2 years today.
15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has been missing in Sumner County for 3 days.
11 days.
6 months, 10 months.
1 year.
Fast forward to today with now 2 years of no answers. 2 years without Sebastian Rogers.
When I close my eyes, most of the time I'm waking up saying his name because he's there. He's there. I close my eyes and he's there.
And I just want to point out, I don't know if you guys can see it very good. Let me put this full screen. You can see the dark circles and the bags under Seth's eyes, where he is tired and losing sleep and searching for Sebastian. Something you don't see Chris and Katie doing. And I just want to point out, pay attention to the way he's talking compared to the way Katie's going to talk here in just a moment.
Sebastian turned 17 years old in December. Holidays and special moments he should have spent with his family have come and gone.
Sebastian is a bright light, fun, energetic, mischievous at times, but what kid isn't?
For Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, he says his days look much the same.
You know, asking people to hand out flyers, talk about Sebastian. If you have anything to send the tips in. The days are long, the years are quick.
Today, community members are holding up signs and demanding answers outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. His father asking that the Sheriff's Office step aside so the FBI can take over the case after he says the family has had no answers after 2 years.
There's other agencies that could help, but they have to be willing. They have to be willing to put their ego aside for Sebastian's sake.
We feel that there should be a lot more going on with him, a lot more searches, isolated searches based upon reports that were garnered during this time. And we really think it's time for a press conference.
Seth tells me he will not stop fighting to bring Sebastian home.
I love you, son. I need you to call me. My phone number is still the same. I will not change my phone number so that you can get a hold of me so I can come get you.
Notice when he's talking to Sebastian directly, he is looking at the camera. He's making eye contact. You can hear the stress in his voice, like you would a parent who's truly hurting. I just point that out, and you can take that and compare that to Katie here in just a minute.
We have reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. They declined an interview, but say a statement will be released tomorrow. Anyone with information on Sebastian's whereabouts can call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Bob.
Hi.
So there was that one. We're going to go to this one, and this one is WSMV. So pay attention to, like I said, the tone, the eye contact, things that are being said, all of that good stuff.
Truthfully, every day hurts the same. I mean, it doesn't get any better. The best way I can describe it is a gaping hole in my heart and in my home and in my family. Every day is praying, is hoping, is searching, is asking anyone that we meet, to share his flyer, to know about him, and hopefully find him. Find Sebastian. 15 when he went missing, 17 now. But he has just this beautiful smile. I mean, he's just got a big grin, and he's got a goofy sense of humor, and he loves being helpful, and he enjoys playing video games and building things. He loves animals. Cats particularly are his favorite animal in the world. Green is his favorite color, and he loved getting out and doing things with us, going bowling and going out. We used to go hiking a lot, and we'd hike to, like when we lived in California, there were waterfalls and whatnot that we used to go hiking to.
So that pisses me off. Okay, I'm just gonna say, because she doesn't talk. Okay, he likes to go bowling. He likes to go out a lot. Okay, when you're talking about him, you're looking down, or you're not looking at the camera like you're talking to him, which we will get into in just a minute when I play that video. Which I hate that news does this. I understand why they take these long videos and they make them shorter and all of that. I get it, but it irritates me. But she goes back to, instead of talking about things like the spaghetti pancakes or the going to BJ's and eating the samples, things like that Sebastian loved doing. She goes back to, well, when we were in California. They hadn't lived in California for a long while. Okay. So you have to think of something all the way back to California to say something good about your child. She doesn't say his name. Very rarely does she say his name. And we'll get to that in a minute because part of this video I'll show in another section here. It just, it really ticked me off to no end when I heard it. So anyway, I'm going to play this one out and then we're going to go to the video that really ticked me off.
And he would get so excited at the end. Just we'd make little videos showing how far we'd come and whatnot. But he's a good kid overall.
What do you miss most about not having him around?
Oh God, everything. I miss his smile. I miss telling him to get up in the morning for school and him going, Mom. I miss him making his little jokes. I miss watching him run around with the dogs. I miss all of it, the good, the bad. I miss everything about my son.
Describe what it's like to live with so much uncertainty, trying to figure out where he is, if he's okay.
Awful. It's horrible, honestly.
What about that question was funny? What about that, Katie Proudfoot, made you chuckle? I will replay it again, but I want to know what made her chuckle. What is so funny? Marie says, wonder if they dumped him somewhere they were familiar with hiking at. Yeah, I don't know because it doesn't show her leaving until morning, right? It doesn't. The video from the neighbors is what I'm talking about. It just, there's so much about Sebastian's case that is so puzzling. It's supposedly Sebastian that took out the trash, but even Seth said back then he couldn't be 100% certain that it was Sebastian who took out the trash. I don't know. Katie and Chris still irritate me, but I will say, at least Katie did this one by herself. I'll say that at least. But let me replay that again. What is so funny? Hey, Grendel.
What it's like to live with so much uncertainty, trying to figure out where he is, if he's okay.
Awful. It's horrible, honestly. I don't have a way of knowing if he is okay, of knowing if Sebastian is safe, of if he's being cared for, and where he is. And it's something that I don't think that I will ever be okay or be used to until we get answers. Truthfully, it's hard to keep hopeful when it's been so long without answers. But like I said, I won't let that hope go. I refuse to let that hope go, and I refuse to stop believing that he is out there and that he is going to come home. And I just pray to God that he is looking over him and that he's keeping him safe until we can find him. I know that there are many people out there that are still helping to share his flyer and whatnot. We continue to ask people to do that. We continue to ask people to just stay aware, keep aware of your surroundings, that type of thing. But as far as different, it's the same. It's the same pain. It's the same absence.
Will you keep searching?
Until my last breath. I'll never stop. I'll never stop searching for him.
Well, you haven't even started searching for him, for one. Really, honestly. Seth is by all means searching for Sebastian. Her, on the other hand, not so much. So let me stop this. Add this stage. Okay, so let me go to, let me find it here. Let me close out some of these tabs. So I don't dox anybody here. All right, move this. Okay. So we're going to go and we're going to watch this video. Hopefully it will play. So share screen, window. Okay, so hopefully this works. Let me know if you guys cannot hear it. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So let me stop screen then, because you're saying you can't hear it. And this one is an important one that I want you to be able to hear. So let me share screen, window. Oh, that's the issue. Okay. Yeah. Shut up. StreamYard is irritating me. Okay. Let me replay this. This is, again, full credit to WSMV there in Nashville. Pay attention to the question that is asked and her response to that question. And then we'll talk about it.
What would you say to him if he were to walk through that door?
I would tell him that we love you. I would tell him that we miss you so very much. I would tell him to stay strong. I would tell him to hang in there, and that if he ever had the opportunity to reach out and get a safe adult and, call 911 if you have to, that we're looking and we're never going to stop looking, and that I pray that he's okay, and that everyone at home loves you, Sebastian, and everyone wants you to come home, and we're here.
How long will you keep searching?
Until my last breath. I'll never stop. I'll never stop searching for him.
Okay. So much to unpack there for me. So let me answer a couple questions here. Grendel says, isn't she in Alaska? To be honest, I don't know. I really I don't know. I haven't been, honestly, I have not been digging deep and following where they're at. So I'm not sure. Right. Okay, Daniel. She's full of shit. Yes, she is. And we'll get to that in a minute. That was not the question. Exactly, Kelly. Exactly. The question was, what would you say to Sebastian if he walked through the door? And she's telling him to hang in there because we're going to find you. So I'm going to play that again here in just a second. Oh, that irritates the piss out of me. It really does. It pisses me off. Forcing herself to cry and act like she's holding it back, right? I will say, I feel more emotion from her in this interview than any other interview that they've done, honestly. But I also don't feel like I feel like she knows and she just is not wanting to say, I guess is the way to put that. You do not sniffle unless you really cry. Exactly. And she doesn't wipe her tears anymore. She lets them flow because, that's what you do. So let me play this again. Again, the question and then the answer.
What would you say to him if he were to walk through that door?
What would you say to him if he were to walk through the door? So he's in front of her. He's there with her. He came home, and this is her answer.
I would tell him that we love you. I would tell him that we miss you so very much. I would tell him to.
Okay, give her credit. We love you. Got that. We miss you so much. No, it would be we have missed you so much. Or just we've missed you so much. So far, she's starting out with a stupid answer, not even answering the question that was asked.
To stay strong. I would tell him to hang in there, and
I would tell him to stay strong and to hang in there, and that if he ever had an opportunity to reach out, that was not the question, Katie Proudfoot. The question was, what would you say to Sebastian if he walked through the door? Tell me I'm wrong. She high? According to her pupils, no. Right? What the frick? She knows he's not coming back, and she doesn't have hope. That answers in itself. Where is he, in my opinion? I agree. I fully agree. But she doesn't, the question, and that's what pisses me off. I'll say it again. I know I have a habit of repeating myself. I'm working on it, but I still do it. What would you say to him if he walked through the door? You wouldn't tell him to hang on and that you're searching for him and that you're going to find him. And just if you have an opportunity to reach out to an adult and reach out. Bitch, the question was, what would you say if he walked through the door? In other words, he's home. He's with you. I'm just saying, Katie, you needed to pay attention to the question. And for me, and it may just be me, but I'm going to throw it out there. This seems like a very scripted response. And that's why she didn't pay attention to the question that was asked. Does anybody disagree with me on that? Because for me, she was expecting the question of it. What would you say to him if he could hear you? And this is what she would say if he could hear her, not if he walked through the door. It's a story and a scripted response in her brain and not paying attention to the question that was asked, because the question asked was him in front of you. I would grab him and say, what the hell happened to you? Where have you effing been? Are you okay? Right? We love you. We've missed you. Where have you been? Are you okay? Things like that. Not, well, we love you and just hang in there and we're still searching. And if you have an opportunity to reach out to an adult, do that. No, because the question was if he was in front of you, if he was home, Katie. Stop with your scripted bullshit and listen to the questions asked. This right here, this part of the interview enrages me so bad. And I can't really put my finger on why, except for what I already said. It's a scripted response from her. Because she doesn't answer the question of what would you do if he was in front of you. You're answering the question, what would you do if he could hear you? What would you say to him if he could hear you? Not what would you do if he walked through the door? Exactly, Melissa. She knows something, in my opinion. I agree. And, oh no, tell me I'm wrong. I'm fine with that. Maybe I am wrong, but saying hang in there and we love you and we're still searching for you, and if you can get a hold of an adult, do that and reach out. That wasn't what was asked, Katie. What would you do if he was in front of you? You would hug him. You'd say, oh my God, where have you been? I love you. I've missed you so much. Are you okay? Are you hungry? Are you cold? What do you need? Not hang in there. Not we're still searching for you. That's what you would say if he could hear you, Katie. Stop with your scripted bullshit. This is why Seth is a better parent, in my opinion. She's not making eye contact. Even if she were saying if he could hear her, she's not making eye contact. She's not looking at the camera. You don't see dark circles and darkness under her eyes where she's losing sleep. You don't see any of that. What you see is her sucking her lips in and looking around, self-soothing, not answering the correctly to questions that were asked. It just pisses me off. It really, really, really pisses me off. Sorry. I had to go on a rant. Sorry, guys. Past tense situation. And all right, I can understand some stuff in past tense, like when she was saying that he liked to go bowling and he liked to go hiking. He liked cats. Cats were his favorite animal. Although I disagree with that, because in my opinion, it was snakes that was his favorite animal. Because remember, Katie, you and Chris took away Sebastian's snakes and you let a man hit your child with a belt. You let a man who had, like, what was it, 5 CPS calls? You let a man torture your child. And just, this is why I don't cover a lot on Sebastian anymore, because I get so frustrated and so mad that this piece of crap can't even make eye contact and have appropriate emotions and appropriate responses to questions. Whereas Seth, you can hear it. You can hear the genuineness in his voice and his pain. And then you've got this piece of crap. At least she did it by herself. At least Chris Proudfoot wasn't sitting beside her and taking over. I'll give her that. But that's all I'm going to give her. It's been 2 years, Katie. Where is Sebastian? You're not wrong. Oh, I'm glad somebody agrees with me. She looks cold-hearted. I don't know that she looks cold-hearted. I get what you're saying, and I see why you say it. For me, it's almost as if she's indifferent. She just doesn't care. And I guess, yeah, that could be cold-hearted. I mean, you're correct, Melissa. She's so robotic, right? It's like, there's no way she paid attention to that question and then answered it like this. There's just not. She had a scripted, this is what I need to say. These are the things I need to go over and get out. But she didn't listen to the question. And the question was, what would you do if he walked through the door? Not what would you say to him if he could hear you? And if you thought that what would you say if he could hear you was the question, why are you not making eye contact with the camera? Why are you not talking straight to Sebastian? Even if this was your answer, you're looking down, you're looking around, you're not looking directly at the camera and speaking to Sebastian. That's what Seth did. Remember, he looked right at the camera and he said, my phone number hasn't changed and I'm not going to change it. He looked right at the camera as if he were talking to Sebastian. And this piece of crap can't even do that. Anyway, I gotta get off this video. Off this one. Marie Antoinette, she won't even look up and connect, right? So I'm going to play this one out one more time, and then I've got one more that I want to play. I got to have a second before I want to reach through my computer. I really do. Okay, hold on. Rant over. Sorry.
That if he ever had the opportunity to reach out and get a safe adult and call 911 if you have to, that we're looking and we're never going to stop looking, and that I pray that he's okay, and that everyone at home loves you, Sebastian, and everyone wants you to come home. And
exactly, everyone wants you to come home, Sebastian, and at least she's saying his name in this one. But that was exactly the question. What would you say to Sebastian if he came through the door? It wouldn't be reach out to an adult. It wouldn't be we all love you. Everybody wants you to come home. He's already home. He's in front of you. Sorry. She really irritates me, and I can't help it. I really, really cannot help the fact that she just irritates the shit out of me. Because she's learned over the 2 years, right? She has. She takes what people say, and then the next interview, you see kind of her do it, right? So let me tell you, Katie, I know you're probably never going to see this, but you need to look at the camera. If you're truly talking to Sebastian, you need to be looking at the camera, talking to Sebastian. And maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just a personal thing. But the question was, what would you do if he walked through the door? It wouldn't be call 911 if you have to. It wouldn't be to reach out. And you're letting your tears flow and you're not wiping them away so that people see your tears. People see your wet eyes. Well, you cry on command. You really do. I just, to use his names right. Like I said, that one irritates the piss out of me.
we love you.
So hold on.
That
Let me find. So there's that one. So this is the other interview that she did. Give me just a second here.
Here we are 2 years later.
Okay, so this is the other part of this interview. And again, I understand why they split them up. I do. But I would prefer, when I'm watching a news segment on a missing child or whatever, you at least at one point put out the whole thing, and then you can split it up into clips after that. But at least have one where it's the full conversation. And I get, they want clicks, they want views, they want people engaged, they want to keep it short and sweet. I get that. I understand why they do it like this. But I also hate that they do it like this, because you have to watch 4 and 5 different things to get the whole story. So I'm going to play this one out. Again, this is WSMV Nashville on the 2-year anniversary of Sebastian.
Here we are 2 years later and still nothing. So as his mom, how does that make you feel?
broken. No one should be living this life. No one. And
okay, I get broken, but why is it taking her so long to think of what to say? I'm broken. I miss my child. I just want him home. I want somebody to know something. I want somebody to say something. Why are we able to come up with things to say and positive things to say about Sebastian when his own mother can't? So I'm going to rewind and pay attention to the pause.
As his mom, how does that make you feel?
Broken. I don't.
Why such a long pause there, Katie? Why? I don't understand why you can't say, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, I'm missing my child, I'm broken, I just want him home, I lose sleep, all of those things. Why can we think of it? And you have to take this long pause of, well, I'm broken. I don't, come on. Sorry, guys. My bias is showing because I really don't like her. Just saying. Law enforcement seems to be idiots if they are not seeing how she is bouncing back and forth. She looks at Sebastian being gone. Most of her responses are past tense. This is clear. I agree. And I can somewhat give her some grace that she's using past tense. It's been 2 years. I can somewhat give her some grace on that. I hate to do it because I don't like her, obviously, because I think she's lying. Well, we know she's lying because she admitted to it on Nancy Grace. Remember, I played it. We're lying about too much. Well, I don't know. The truth sets you free, Katie. Tell the truth. For once in the last 2 years of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers being missing, just tell the truth. And yeah, I mean, law enforcement, they kicked the FBI out, but then they want to say, well, the FBI's helping. Well, no, they're not, because you kicked them out, Sumner County. You won't let other law enforcement agencies help find Sebastian because your ego is so freaking big that you want to be the ones to do it. Well, we want Sebastian home. And by we, I mean us as a community, as a true crime community, as caring people. We want Sebastian home. And if that means you have to turn over the investigation to the FBI, who has more resources, more money, better technology, I don't know, do it. Okay, let me play the rest of this video because, like I said, my bias is showing because I really do not like her because I found where she admitted they were lying. One moment.
No one should be living this life. No one. And I know that there are other moms that are going through this with so many missing children.
Katie, I went through it. Yes, my son wasn't missing for 2 years. Yes, my son wasn't missing as long as Jack and Lily have been missing. He was missing a week. I was constantly on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, everything, on the phone, out looking, begging for help. And it was somebody that was an officer on YouTube or on TikTok that found my son a week later where he was being held captive. I've been there, and I can trust and tell you, Katie, your emotions are not matching what is going on. You are not acting as if you love your son and you want him home. You're just not.
And since Sebastian's gone missing, I've become aware of so many of them, and it made me realize how much people just overlook these kinds of situations. You see Sebastian or any of the missing kids, and it's only a fleeting thought. And
it might be a fleeting thought for you, Katie, but it's not for us. And why did you look down when you said his name? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for being so irritated with her. But when somebody says and they get caught saying we're lying about something, and then you want me to trust what you say, it just doesn't match up. My son is autistic, and I can tell you for a fact, if I heard a thud, a weird noise, something like that, I would, especially with Sebastian's issues. He had fluid on his brain. He's got the buildup of cartilage in his chest. He's got the CQ2 deletion. He's got autism. And you hear a thud or a sound an hour after you told him to go to bed, I would get up off my fat, lazy ass. I would go and check on him. I would open the door and check. Why did you not? Why did you, on your watch, let your son go missing without a trace? Because he didn't, whoop, into thin air. That thud, that noise is the key. I swear it. Kelly says, I don't think you're wrong at all. I'd love to see Dee Dee do an interview with this crazy woman. He would eat her alive. And I can't wait to see what he says about these. And if I knew how to send these, I posted them on my Facebook. And I'm going to try to figure out, well, it'll be here, but I wish I knew how to send it to him, because I'd be like, hey, analyze this. Because the emotions she's showing, in my opinion, are not true. Not true emotions. I believe she's in pain, and I believe that she does cry, but I don't believe she's crying because Sebastian is missing. I think you got that memorial tattoo and you cry and you can't answer these simple questions because you know he's not coming home. That's why when the question was posed to you, what would you do if he walked through that door? And you said, I'd tell him to hang on and we're still looking and find an adult. No, he's home. Sorry. Exactly. Guilt. Yeah. Consciousness of guilt. Yep. In my opinion. Anyway, I'll finish playing this and stop my rant for now.
And going through my son missing has really opened my eyes and really made me aware of how oblivious we can be.
What was the last update that you received from investigators?
Unfortunately, the updates that we receive are about the same as the public, that they do still get tips and that they do follow up on them. But unfortunately, there's nothing significant to report at this point that we know of.
So have there been any tips at all that have given you hope over this last year?
There's been several times where I've gotten my hopes up, but I know that law enforcement is still working on Sebastian's case. I know that they are still taking any tips or leads that anyone can call in. But unfortunately, none have been significant enough to help us find Sebastian yet. So my plea would be that if anyone knows or sees something, to please call it in.
Why did she just roll her eyes? Why does she look down when you say Sebastian's name? Why can you not just make eye contact? Like, that is 101 of how to tell if somebody's not telling you the truth, because they won't make eye contact. Well, she never makes eye contact. I don't feel like she even carries guilt. I think she's more afraid of what will happen to her if she's caught. Amen. I agree with that 100%. It's more about her. Exactly. All about her. Me. Exactly. Good point. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just, I took and stopped covering Sebastian for personal reasons because he reminds me so much of my child. And I still reach out and I still talk to Seth and I still check in with him from time to time. And you can tell his pain. You can feel it. It's palpable. But I don't get that genuineness out of her. I just don't. So let me finish out this video and then we'll chat.
You have anything in your innermost thoughts that you think happened to him?
Truthfully, I think that there are different options based off of what we know and what we don't know. More particularly, what we don't know is what makes it more difficult to do that. But all I can say is that I feel like he is out there, and that is my main hope, that him being out there means that he's alive and that he can come home when we find him.
Here we are 2 years later, and
so I don't know what to really make of her. I just don't. And I don't mean to rant. I really don't. But even when she says he's out there and we need to find him, and it's like, where is he then? You were the one in charge. You were the one watching him. So you failed. I think CPS failed Sebastian. Chris and Katie failed Sebastian. You did not want Sebastian, in my opinion, you did not want Sebastian going to live with Seth at the end of the school year like it was planned. And so you had to step in and you had to do something. That 2 hour and whatever it was, I forget now, phone conversation with Chris Proudfoot. You can do that, be on the phone with Chris. You can do your studying and you can be asleep all at the same time, according to you. Because one story, it was you were on the phone, but you were studying. In another story, even Chris said it, you were falling asleep, but you were still on the phone and studying. You can't do all three at once. Nobody can. But you didn't get up off your ass and go check on Sebastian when you heard a thud. And it went from some noise to he was playing with something to a thud. And then it was just a thud. It wasn't just a thud. It was your child. Right. Eric Kelly says, oh, he's out there, and I believe she knows. I do too. But I'm going to replay part of this, and then I'm going to stop it and talk about it because of a couple of things that she said. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to rant. I really don't. She just pisses me off.
So have there been any tips at all that have given you hope over this last year?
There's been several times where I've gotten my hopes up, but I know that law enforcement is still working on Sebastian's case. I know that they are still taking any tips or leads that anyone can call in.
No shit, Sherlock Holmes. Of course they're still working on it. Of course they're still looking at the tips. And I tell you what, if you remember when that picture came out, I think it was last year, of the boy at the truck stop or the rest area. I think it was a rest area. That looked so much like Sebastian. I had my hopes up. I was like, yes, they found him. Only to find out it wasn't him. But I tell you what, that boy, that was Sebastian's twin. Rant on. Someone has to be on Sebastian's behalf, right? And I don't mean to rant. I really don't. But she just makes me so angry because I've been in the shoes of a parent who is missing has a child missing. I'm in the shoes of a parent who has lost a child to murder. And my emotions are stronger for Sebastian than his own mother's is. And that's sad. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit more of this.
But unfortunately, none have been significant enough to help us find Sebastian yet. So,
okay, did you guys see the look on her face when she said that? Pay attention to her face right here at the end. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Pay attention to her, the face she makes after she says none of them have been significant enough.
that anyone can call in. But unfortunately, none have been significant enough to help us find Sebastian yet. So
it's like she's questioning herself. Her eyebrows go together and she's like, yeah, I don't like her, I guess. I don't know. You guys tell me.
my plead would be that if anyone knows or sees.
My plead is if anyone knows, and she rolls her eyes. Why are you rolling your eyes when you're pleading for people to find your missing child?
My plead would be that if anyone.
Did y'all catch the eye roll?
One knows or so have been significant enough to help us find Sebastian yet. So my plead would be that if anyone knows or sees something, to please call it in.
Do you have anything in your innermost thoughts that you think happened to him?
Truthfully, I think.
And something I've learned from Deception Detective, Dr. G Explains, Never a Truer Word, all the guys that, or well, people, like not just guys, but all the people that do the like body language and stuff will tell you like the long blinks that she's doing, the rolling of her eyes, and most of them will tell you if somebody starts off an answer with truthfully or honestly, then 9 out of 10, it's a lie. They tell you that because they want you to believe what they say next. And she does that here.
That
you think happened to him?
Truthfully, I think that there.
So truthfully, and then there's this huge pause. And I'm sorry, but I do not see WSMV creating that pause. You know, when you're watching TV or whatever, and there's a long pause, and then when you watch the whole segment, you know, when it's a preview and there's like a long pause, and then you see the actual segment and there's not really a long pause, they just created a long pause. I don't see WSMV doing that in this case. You guys know what I mean? Like, I don't see that. So there truly is, for her, these long pauses. and they're awkward. And it's like you're trying to think what to say because you don't want to reveal what happened. And you're trying to answer your innermost feelings, what happened. Right? And you have to have this long pause because, in my opinion, and in my opinion only, well, probably not only, but in my opinion, you know what happened to Sebastian. And you know where Sebastian is at. So that long pause is you trying to figure out what to say that doesn't give away that Sebastian is no longer with us. It doesn't give away what happened to Sebastian. And that's the reason for these long pauses where she has to think about what she's going to say next because she doesn't want to give anything away. She doesn't want to, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. She's a mean woman. She's evil. I agree. I fully agree. Marie Antoinette, I agree with all said here tonight. Evil is a monster and she fits the bill. She does. But for me, it's not so much what she did, it's what she doesn't do that frustrates me so much with her. She doesn't look directly at the camera. She doesn't keep eye contact. She doesn't say nice things about Sebastian. She doesn't know what to say because she doesn't want to give things away. So it's not just what she does. It's how she does it, in my opinion. I'll play the rest of this. Hold on.
Are different options based off of what we know and what we don't know. More particularly, what we don't know is what makes it more difficult.
So as she's talking about what they don't know, pay attention to the eye roll again.
To are different options based off of what we know and what we don't know. More particularly, what we don't know is what makes it more difficult to do that. But all I can say is that I feel like he is out there, and that is my main hope. That him being out there means that he's alive. And
him being out there means he's alive. That's not what that means. Him being out there means he's lost. Him being out there means even if he were alive, he's probably being held captive, or he's cold, or he's not fed, he's not taken care of. That should not give you hope. That should give you worry. That should make you worry about your child. But just because he's not home and you feel like he's out there, well, of course he's out there. We know that. But where is he? And in my opinion, she knows. Chris Proudfoot knows. Her parents know. The only one in the dark is the only person, in my opinion, that gives two shits about Sebastian, and that's his dad. The one person who should know, the one person who needs the answers, the one person who truly loves and cares about Sebastian and his family is Seth. Sebastian is everything to Seth. Sebastian is Seth's life. Imagine the thoughts that run through your head if you had thought he was out there, right? Is he cold? Is he hungry? Is he being taken care of? Is he inside? Is he being abused? Not just, oh, he's out there, so I think he's alive. Tell us the truth, Katie.
and that he can come home when we find him.
Here we are.
So that was that one. Okay, that was all that I seen from them. So Sumner County is the one who posted the immediate release. This is where I got that from. Then they shared this one. Says an Amber Alert has been issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Sebastian is a 15-year-old white male, 5'5", 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen on February 26, 2024, February 25th, 2024, in a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. Sebastian has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. And I disagree with that. Sebastian was not a low-functioning, nonverbal, autistic child. My technically cousin, but I call him my nephew, he is nonverbal. He's a nonverbal autistic child. And that would impair his ability if he got lost. But that's not Sebastian. Sebastian knew how to get to his father's house. Right? Sebastian knew how to get to school. He knew all these things. So it's not like like I said, it's not like he's nonverbal. I don't think his autism would hinder him being able to come home. I just don't. Anybody with an autistic child knows that there's a spectrum along, you go from nonverbal, then you have your high functioning, which is what my child is. My technically, like I said, cousin, but I consider him my nephew. He's nonverbal. And if I could take the two and put them in the same spot, somewhere they know, and tell them, find your way home, one of them is going to make it home. The other one, I'm going to have to go find. And he's not going to come to just anybody. But I may be wrong. Maybe it will hinder, but I don't think it will. Not his medical condition anyway. If you've seen Sebastian or have any information regarding his whereabouts, please contact the Sumner County Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 or the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. What does nonverbal have to do with being aware of your surrounding areas, though? Okay. So it's not that they're not aware of their surrounding areas. What I'm saying is, as to walk up to somebody and say, hey, I'm lost. Can you point me in the direction of home? Right. And that person knows where they live. So they point them in that direction. That's what I'm talking about. The nonverbal would hinder him coming home because he's not going to ask for directions. He's not going to talk to somebody. He's, you know what I mean? Like, do you understand what I mean, Marie? Like, it's not that just because he's nonverbal, he wouldn't know how to get home. My nephew is smart as hell. He would probably point and tell me where to go, but he doesn't talk. So if he was lost and he's nonverbal, he's not going to ask for directions. He's not going to be able to verbalize to somebody that he's lost. That's what I mean by that. Maybe I worded that wrong. Nonverbal is confusing to me. My son is nonverbal, but he can say words. That's the same. My nephew, he can say some words, but for the most part, it's grunts or other noises and pointing, things of that nature. So he's very smart. Like, he could, he can get up on his own and he can get dressed and he plays video games and he does stuff like that. But to get him to speak to somebody, especially somebody he doesn't know, is not going to happen. Even with me, somebody he knows, he's very few words. Mom, he'll say that. He'll say, love you. He'll call his sister's name. But for the most part, if he were lost, he's not going to walk up to a police officer or somebody else and be like, I'm lost. Call 911. I'm Sebastian. I'm missing, right? If he were nonverbal, I guess is the way I want to put that. And yes, nonverbal can say words by all means. Of course they can, which I never understood why they say nonverbal, because every nonverbal autistic child I've ever come in contact with will talk. They will say some words, and they will say more words, but they're still considered nonverbal because for the most part they don't talk, I guess is the way to put it. I think I understand what you mean. My son does pointing with his arm held out, but can say certain words. Exactly. Like, we went out to, perfect example. We went out when I was in Florida a couple years ago. I got to go see my nephew, and me and his mom and his sister and the person I was with at the time, we all went out to breakfast at this buffet. And he would point to just about everything. But when we got to the table, he would say, please. He would say pancakes. But for the most part, he would just point. But like I said, for me, when I say nonverbal would hinder, again, I just mean as far as asking for help. Because for the most part, a nonverbal child or a nonverbal autistic child, even, because there are children that don't really speak. They can speak, they just kind of choose not to, I guess. They won't reach out to people and say, hey, I'm lost, or hey, I need this. Hey, I'm hurt. I guess is, I mean, yeah, I mean, he does speak. I love my little Landon. His birthday, he turns 18. Awesome. This week. So I've got to get his card out in the mail. And then his sister, she just graduated. She's having her graduation party this weekend, I think. I wish I could make it down there for it, but I can't. So I got her graduation, and I'm going to put some money in their cards for their birthday and for graduation and get that sent off hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, they're great. I love kids. I don't know. Best age they are. Like, I don't know. I help my brother through the summer. So this summer, when you guys only see me maybe one day a week, don't worry. It's because I'm out helping my brother. But there's this one spot that we go to, and this little boy comes and sees me every year. He searches me out until he finds me, and he gets mad if he can't find me. His mom told me he got so mad one day because I was not where I was supposed to be, and he was very upset about that. But he will come up to me and he will give me a hug, and he goes, hug, and he'll give me a big old bear hug. And then when he's done, he steps back and he goes, one more hug. He gives me another hug, and then he goes, I love you. And I always tell him, I love you too. It puts a smile on my face because this boy is considered nonverbal, but because he sees me every year, he's amazing. He's so sweet. I won't say his name, but he's so sweet. He's my little man. But that's what I mean by that. So back to this post. Enough of me. So these shoes in this picture, if I remember correctly, were the new shoes. They're kind of like a high top boot that Seth bought Sebastian because, of course, they grow out of their shoes and they do it quickly at that age. So this was just the poster that I had read earlier. And that was for the immediate release. Okay. So there was that. And Sumner County said, when they shared these posts, says 2 years, Sebastian is not forgotten. It has been 2 years since Sebastian Rogers was reported missing. While time has passed, our commitment to finding answers and bringing closure has not wavered. Investigators continue to follow leads, review information, and work with state and federal partners. Well, how are you working with federal partners when there were people outside of your station demanding and yelling for you to get the FBI involved. That kind of irritates me. So it says the FBI overview, and it gives the link. So I don't know if I still have it, but I will search. I had somewhere at one point some other information. I will have to try to find it. So again, the pinned comment is this document here. It's just like the one I did for Jack and Lily, but this one wasn't as good as the one I did for Jack and Lily. And I need to come in here and change some things and make things better. So let me find it. Contradictions. There it is. So Chris Proudfoot, of course, you know about the polygraph. He said he did it, that he didn't. It was proven that he did, but it was proven that he, you know, it was on Nancy Grace. Yeah, I'll do one. Give me the time and date. And then he never showed up for it. He never did it. So this one is what reminds me so much of, oh crap, I can't, Lily and Jack. When Sebastian was missing for 8 days, Christopher Proudfoot said, "This is a case to be studied for sure." How do you know that 8 days in? Unless you know where he's at, how do you know 8 days in that this is a case that's going to be studied? And, you know, Daniel said something very similar to that, remember? And it has been stated, and I don't know for sure, but Daniel was into true crime and was following Sebastian's case. And if you look at Sebastian's case and you look at Jack and Lily, they're a lot alike. They really are. This case is very extremely unusual, said Chris. He said this is a case that literally has got all of the agencies stumped. No, I think they know what happened. They just have to have the proof. He said, "Call him Houdini. He always wanted to be a ninja. Well, he has officially done it because poof, nothing. And you know that the cops have told us this is a case that will go down as a researched study case." That was out of Chris Proudfoot's mouth on day 24 on Smiley's World of Sebastian missing. And he said on Web Sleuths, "This is a bizarre case." Yes, it very much is. And on Elevated Truth, Chris Proudfoot said, "Yeah, that was a conversation that I had with law enforcement. And they to themselves, when we had this discussion, was like, there's nothing. And when I said, you know, this would be a case that will be studied, yes, it will wind." And then he holds back a laugh and he says, "Up being in a book, because once again, we have no leads, no nothing." Really, Christopher Proudfoot. But Daniel, you need to quit taking a play out of Chris Proudfoot's book, okay? Just Chris Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Daniel Martell, Malaya Brooks Murray. Y'all need to come up with the truth. Where are these babies? Because they are babies, in my opinion. I'm old. But where are these guys? You guys know. It's clear as day when you truly watch them speak, right? That they know something, in my opinion. Kelly says, "My son is autistic, borderline schizophrenic." Ooh, that's a bad combination. And I don't mean that mean. His first word was puppy at 3.5 years old. Aw. My son's first word was shit. I put in the baby book, dad. But his first word was shit. I don't know how autistic and schizophrenic would, I don't know. That doesn't seem like it would be a good combination. And I don't mean like anything bad by that, but they're both very tough medical diagnoses. I can't say the word right now. So that would be a bad combination to have. I feel for him. My brother is schizophrenic, and then I have one Well, technically, I think it's like paranoid schizophrenia is what he was diagnosed as. And I can't stand to be around him. I don't like him. Well, Kelly, I'm waiting on full words. If it happens right now, my guy's at partial, but getting there. How old is he? Not good and has a lot of issues. Yeah, I feel for him. That just doesn't seem like it would be a good combination. I don't know though. I feel bad for him though. So something that, if we go back and really look at what Christopher Proudfoot said, something that bugged me then, and it still bugs me now, besides the thud. Oh, I can take that off now. Hold on a minute. So besides the thud, something that really bugged me was when Christopher Proudfoot said the best part. And I really need to go in here and fix Sebastian's document. He said, unfortunately, and this was on Cluminati, Sebastian had been missing 82 days at that point. And he said, unfortunately, the best part about it is he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind. How in the heck are you going to say, unfortunately, the best part? First of all, let's break it down. Unfortunately, the best part. Those two don't go together. It should have been, unfortunately, he has managed to do this without any evidence left behind. Not, unfortunately, the best part about it. And then he went on, elevated truth at 296 days of Sebastian missing. He went on elevated truth and said, well, I didn't say the best thing about Sebastian disappearing. Okay, I said, as it stands right now, this boy has vanished and there's no clues. That's not what you said there, Christopher Proudfoot. You said, unfortunately, the best part about it is he did this without leaving a trace. So you've got Christopher Proudfoot and you've got Katie Proudfoot and you've got all the lies that they're telling because, again, and I'll play it one more time. This is what was said on Nancy Grace.
Sebastian.
We're lying about doing
Was that the first?
Well, right there, Katie, you said we're lying about too much. Oh, wait, I missed one. Marie said he turned 3 in November. I didn't realize he was that young, Marie. I didn't realize that at all. Do you have a puppy or dog? She needs about 3 puppies. Nobody needs puppies. Oh, I tell you what, when my old dog goes, I don't know that I will get another one. I have a dog, but he thinks he's a cat because he is so small. My dog doesn't understand he's a dog at all. He doesn't act like a cat, though, either. I had a cat, too, but yeah, no longer. So, anyway, I don't know what to think. I think it's been 2 years, way too long. I think that Seth needs closure. I think that Seth needs the truth. And I think Chris and Katie, you just said it here, that you're lying about something. Why don't you tell the truth? And then we can find Sebastian. And we can bring Sebastian home. Because that's what he deserves. Okay? He deserves to be home with people that love him. And I just don't feel like you do. I feel like you are trying to mislead people. And you're trying to not get in trouble. And you make it about you and only you. And that's what I think. I don't know how you guys feel. But like I said, I don't I don't know. Nancy Grace needs to rewatch her own show and spot what Katie says, right? I don't know. I might post it on Twitter, X, whatever, and tag her. I might do that. But other than that, I wouldn't know how to get a hold of her. And even doing that, she probably doesn't take care of her own social media. You know what I mean? Like, there's probably somebody dedicated, like, on her show or whatever to do that. But I will post it on X and tag her. And maybe I can find her on Facebook and send it. I just want to know, because I really don't think Nancy heard it, because Nancy would have called her out on it. Animals are healers. They are. I have a cat that thinks she's a dog. Oh, Lord. They have identity crises. I think he may be buried where that new neighborhood was going up across from his neighborhood. That has crossed my mind, Grendel. It really has. And I feel like whatever happened, he was maybe put in the vehicle, and when Katie went to look and, you know, search the school and stuff, I think he was dumped. Either with somebody or whatever. I don't know. There's something wrong. There's something missing. They're clearly lying because Katie said it. And, you know, how did Chris Proudfoot know that retention pond was only knee deep? He wouldn't know that unless he was in it, right? Things like that bug me. That's why I went to, it's possible, in my opinion, especially with his construction experience, and her military experience. I think that gives them an edge, maybe, I guess, on hiding him. I don't know. That makes sense, Grant. It does. Mike MX did a video on that aspect too. Did he? I don't know that I have him on this one. I'll have to go look him up, and maybe we can watch that. Bring in human remains detection dogs. They will know and show. They did. If I remember correctly, they did. They brought in dogs. I remember they brought in dogs. The dog's name was Max. And there was more than one dog brought in. And they all beelined it. Like, I think like 3 of them like made a beeline for that construction area. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they brought in cadaver dogs. Like, pretty sure. But I don't, it's been 2 years. I don't honestly remember. I'll have to, let me look here. Dog. There we go. So this is, all of these were cameras. This is supposedly, the red line is supposedly where the dog's tracked. Supposedly. Which this would be Chris and Katie's house. But so we know Sebastian didn't go out the front door because it was locked. And if he had gone out the front door, let me find it. It's not in here. Great. Way to go, dumbass. Yes, I'm talking to myself. Okay, this is the closest we're going to get. So if he had gone out the front door, he would have been caught on this camera. Because these people, one of these two had cameras that faced the front door. So we know he didn't go out the front door because he would have been caught on the camera here. We know he didn't go out the garage door because this place here, one of these two, I think it was this one, had a camera facing that way. So he would have been caught on camera there. So how did he get out of the house? And the only thing, in my opinion, this is my opinion only, is he had to have been put in the vehicle and driven out that morning. Yeah, it was this house here because there's that little shed. that this was the new construction area. But this is supposedly how the dogs tracked. Is this red line. Apparently, that's what they said. Now, okay. So this is the house. Here's that little shed. I don't know why they blurred it. This is Chris and Katie's house. This is without it being blurred. And they have a camera, and there's that little shed, like I said. They would have, if he had gone out the garage door, which is right here by this truck, he would have been seen on camera. And if he went out the front door, the camera on that side would have caught him. There is the last photo that I know of that I can say I'm pretty certain this was the last photo of Sebastian. So there it just shows there's Sebastian eating. This one, remember, this is the house. This is Chris and Katie's up here. And this was from the flashlight video. And so he would have been caught, if he'd gone out any door, he would have been caught by this camera, or he would have been caught by this camera. So how did he get out? They never used cadaver. Oh, we already answered that. And yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cadaver dogs. I might be mistaken. I will look into that because I'm sure I have it somewhere. Wouldn't that be something if they didn't? Right? Bring it in. They'd still smell it, in my opinion. Ooh, Grindle, you said you think he's super deep, like 20 feet or more feet deep. They had that huge mound of earth that was like 40 to 50 foot tall that they had moved and leveled out. I don't think he'd be that deep. I honestly don't. I mean, it's possible, but because we really don't know, right? Did you watch the parking lot footage of when he left the restaurant in the parking lot as they were getting into the car? Yes. And something I noticed when they were getting in the car, I don't know. Let me look here. Let me think where that would be. Like I said, it's been a long time. Oh, wait a minute. I can control F. Wait. Control F1. Or control F. There we go. Texas Roadhouse. Because I don't know. That was Texas Roadhouse. Okay. On day 61 of Sebastian missing, Web Sleuth, at 1 hour, 53 minutes, 28 seconds, the clothes that Sebastian was wearing at Texas Roadhouse was used for the scent dogs and are in possession of law enforcement. So yes, it was scent dogs, not cadaver dogs. Let me look here. Seth has not seen the clothing that Sebastian was wearing. Okay. I don't have it in there. That's the 911. Let me look here, guys. Because I know I, at one point, had it. I may just have to search for that, guys. It's been a while since I looked for that. Let me just type in up here Sebastian, because it's been a long time since Dagnabbit. Sonny and I went over the video. Anyway, I can't, but this guy right here and the worker both like turned to look at something at the same time, like there was some sort of commotion. I will have to find the full video and I'll do another live on it. But yeah, there were a lot of things in that video that kind of made my hair stand up. The car next to Katie's driver door had their window down and looked as if they handed her something. Oh, I didn't see that, but I did see where she was kind of talking to somebody. And the way Sebastian moved in the car, there was something that bugged me about that. I wish I could just find, here we go. So this is Michelle After Dark. So I know she was one of them that posted. Okay. So she's taking a picture of, I don't know, him eating his food, maybe just of him. So it looks like he has on a Yoda shirt to me. That looks like Yoda. There wasn't a whole lot. He's definitely, in my opinion, hungry. And I get kids are hungry, but he was really enjoying that food. Let's get to it here. It's her paying the bill. Okay. So hopefully she shows it here. There's Chris and Katie's car. There's Sebastian walking out. But right after he gets in the car, there's the green hoodie guy that everybody was so focused on. Okay, so she doesn't show that. But when he gets in the car, he made a weird movement. And I remember I pointed it out on when Sonny and I did it. Okay, so this was the Nancy Grace interview. If I remember correctly, it was like 17 minutes and 36 seconds or something like that in. Let's watch this just a minute.
And I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not know.
If he were to go out his window, what would he step on?
Mulch and bushes.
Did you say mulch or mush?
Mulch.
Mulch.
Mulch. Okay. Got it. Has he ever gone out the window before?
No, ma'am.
Is his room on the front of the house or the back of the house?
Front.
Front. Do any of your neighbors' ring cams point toward your house? Could they pick that up?
They do, but it's so dark that they can only see it after it gets so dark at night. They can only see certain things where there's light.
Okay, so she says that the camera would pick it up, but only if there's light. Well, if he went out a door, there would be a light because you guys had motion lights. So Let me play this just a little bit longer because I think this is where it was with Nancy. And then I'm going to wrap this up because it's already been 2 hours.
I thought there were the two lights on.
On the opposite side of the house.
Okay. Can we talk about Sebastian's shoes? Why are you convinced Sebastian?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Y'all ever heard of a home equity agreement?
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions regarding the doors. Do you have any home surveillance, anything at all that would have given us an idea or a clue if the door had been opened or not, or a window?
And I just want to point out, she worked for Brinks, if you guys remember correctly. She worked for Brinks, and their subscription to their cameras is no longer, right? And then after Sebastian goes missing, they get the security camera footage back. That, in my opinion, just says premeditated. Just gonna say it.
Not directly from our house.
Well, then from where?
That's what we were hoping, that neighborhood Ring cameras and may have picked something up.
Holy crap, I am muted. Sorry, guys. Okay, let me go back up here. So damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I was behind in chat. Okay. So let's start here. Yes, I did watch the footage, but like I said, when I was muted, because I'm an idiot. So when Sebastian got in the car, there was something, the way he acted, he did a motion or something. I'll have to rewatch the video. Maybe this week we'll do a live and watch the video. But I remember when I was on with Sunny, there was something Sebastian did, and I don't remember now what it was, when they got in the car, that threw up a red flag. The car next to Katie's driver door, and their window was down, looking like it handed them something, maybe. So, you'd be amazed at what cadaver dogs can smell. Yeah. And I was saying, I think I was muted at the time, but I was watching a thing on YouTube the other day, like a month ago, and I found out that cadaver dogs can, like, the headstones that are at the cemetery, they like absorb that smell. And this person had replaced the headstone, so they took the old one and like took it to their house and leaned it up against the tree. And the guy had been murdered, and they brought in human remains detection dogs, and they could smell, they hit on the headstone. So I didn't know that like concrete and headstones actually absorb that smell. That was something kind of cool to discover. I know cadaver dogs can smell through 50 feet of concrete. So scent dogs followed. Yes. Supposedly, according to Christopher Proudfoot, 3 scent dogs went to the construction site. One of them, you can hear it on the dispatch audio, one of the dogs actually dove into the pond. They should have brought cadaver dogs. I agree. And yes, dogs can smell cancer. My grandma had cancer, and her dog, it was like a little Sheltie. It kept smelling her stomach for a long time. And finally, grandma got checked out, and she had cancer. So yes, dogs can smell cancer. The case was screwed from the start, same as Jack and Lily. Yes, it was. They had a bunch of people in and out, and even the neighbors were giving video footage to Christopher Proudfoot instead of turning it over to the police. They were giving it to Chris Proudfoot. Well, if he had something to do with it, or if Katie had something to do with it, right, he could, oh, well, they never sent this video. Well, we never got that video. It would have been a good, perfect opportunity to hide evidence, in my opinion. Yeah, the green and yellow hoodie guys, but I'm more interested in the car parked next to her. Yeah, we'll go over that. I'll find it. I've got it somewhere. Who did she send the pic to? If I remember correctly, she said she sent the picture to Christopher Proudfoot. Was going to say he was eating like he hadn't eaten in a while. I agree. And remember that morning, fun fact, according to Katie Proudfoot, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning, and that it was essentially it was spaghetti pancakes that we found out. And he had to call and talk to family and brag about having breakfast. Why does a kid call and brag about breakfast? Like, it couldn't have been that great, right? I agree. He looked like he hadn't eaten all day, but he also had spaghetti pancakes for breakfast. He had a colossal popcorn. He at Costco, or not Costco, at BJ's, he ate samples, and then that night they went out to eat to Texas Roadhouse, but it looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. I agree. This right here was the Nancy Grace interview, if you want to go see it. You would think with her working there and having a child with autism, you'd have a security system, right? She worked for Brinks, and she let their security go. And then after he went missing, they got it back. So my question is, now that we know, like with Nancy Guthrie, right? Google was able to go back, even though she didn't have a subscription, and pull that video. Is there any way that they can do that with Sebastian? I'm sorry, guys. I was muted. I'm bad about that. And I was behind in chat. Scrolling comments. No, right? I'm sorry. I'm stupid. It's okay. I'm not having a good day. Oh, Melissa, where are you at? I ran away. Reading comments. Yes, I was. And I was answering them. Melissa, no sound or video. Sorry. Okay, let me skip down here. I hope she's not answering them all. I was, of course. So if I ever am muted, one of you mods call me. Okay. Call me on Facebook and I'll know, kind of like we do with Charmaine. Just call me and be like, hey, you muted. I'll know what I'll look at my sound. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't want to come back. I ran away. Welcome back, right? I can't help it. I'm not having a good day. It'll be all right. It's all good. You're not an idiot. Hey, I make fun of myself all the time. It's okay. Not after 2 years. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I doubt they could. But did they even try at that time? I guess would be the question. Did they even try that? But it was always suspicious to me that she canceled their subscription and then Sebastian went missing. And then all of a sudden, no, we better put our cameras back up. That just always bugged me. No, I'd imagine not. Probably not. I didn't even know it was possible until Nancy Guthrie case. That it was even possible to do that. But I've been on here almost 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 17 minutes. So I'm going to get off. I will find the Texas Roadhouse footage and we'll go over that more in depth. But I will find it and then I'll do another live. But again, some of the way that Katie answered those questions, especially the one which really pissed me off and made me go on a rant tonight, was, what would you do or say to him if he walked in the door? And she's like, I'd tell him to hang on and we're looking for him and find an adult. Call. Bitch, listen to the question. Stop with your answers that were clearly rehearsed and just tell the truth. But I will tag Nancy Grace. I'll post it on X and I'll tag her and see if she answers. She probably won't. She probably doesn't even do her own social media, but I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to play the outro and it was good talking to everybody. So hopefully I get my other channel, my main channel back, because I was 5 away from 500. And somebody said I was a spam channel or I was spamming chat or something like that. And reported it. They're reviewing it. They've been reviewing it for a week. In fact, here's the message. Here's our messages with YouTube. And right here it says, we're still working on it. We'll let you know when we have info to share. Thanks for your patience in the meantime. So they're working on it. If you don't like me, keep scrolling. You don't have to report me. Just keep scrolling. I feel like when you have a child with special needs, it's important to check your child before you go to bed. Maybe just me. I don't know. Nope. I checked on my children a lot with a noise. I just did. And I don't understand why she didn't get up. If she heard a thud or any kind of noise, why she didn't get up, go to the door, knock on it, open it, whatever, and find out what was going on. Clear neglect, in my opinion. Many hugs and love you all. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yes, thank you guys. I'm sorry. I want my other channel back. I want it back. No, you're not. No, you're right, Marie. I agree. I do. I agree. She should have got up. She should have checked on her child before she went to bed. Sorry. Fingers crossed. Sort that out, YouTube, right? Hopefully we get it back soon. But thank you for joining tonight. And I will talk to you guys later.
We'll keep searching through the darkest day for every soul that's lost or gone. We'll fight until the break of dawn. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until we found you. For all the lost, both the near and far, you're in our hearts, you're who we are. Through the nights and through the pain, we will say your name again. Every step we take is true as we continue to search for you. American justice stands so tall. We won't rest until there is justice for all the lost, both the near and far. You're in our hearts. You're who we are. We will continue to pray until you're home to stay.